just what you want on the hottest day of the year when there's a heat advisory out. There's a little road walking in the sun. Good morning, campers. I'm leaving the Mashipacong shelter. As you can see, I was the only one here last night. No one else showed up. I had the whole thing to myself. No bears, no mice that I know of. I didn't see any sign of mice. I didn't hear them. I had earplugs in. I got some sleep, off and on like I normally do. But before I leave camp here, I wanted to take you down and show you the privy. Let's take a look inside. So here is the privy, the Mashipacong shelter. It is pink, baby. Pepto-Bismol pink. It's pretty big. And they wisely put a sunlight in, so you can see in here. It's very bright, very colorful. It's fairly clean. That was a nice privy. So as I leave the Mashipacong shelter, the trail goes right next to it, by the way. There's a blaze actually on the shelter, indicating that, let's see, there's a shelter behind me. You see the blazes right there in the corner? Because there are several trails that lead off from that clearing you saw. And I guess people were getting confused which way to go. In any event, here's a philosophical question for you. If your rain jacket is wet on the inside, is there any point in putting it on? I ask because I went to put on my raincoat this morning and the sleeves, at least from the elbows down, were wet inside. I was like, holy cow. I guess water ran inside the sleeves yesterday while it was raining and I was hiking. Because you're hiking like this, so you're raising your arm so your hand gets wet and gets water. Every time you raise your hand, rainwater can run down your forearm into your sleeve. I guess that's what happened. I didn't have the cuffs tightened up. I have the cuffs very loose for airflow. So it's not raining right now, so you're probably wondering, why do you have your raincoat on? It's because it's so foggy and misty. Hey, do you see a developing theme here? Yet again, a misty, foggy morning. Damp, drizzly. Well, not drizzly. It's not raining. Out in the clearing, not a drop of rain. But every time the wind blows, the leaves, drop water. So it's like I get these little sprinkles as I'm walking. So I put my raincoat on just to keep the rain off me while I'm hiking. The drips from the trees. So in any event, today's a kind of a bigger mileage day than I had hoped. I'd hoped to be doing like about a 12-mile day. That's if I had made it to the next shelter, which I did not yesterday. The rain started about 20 minutes before I got to the Mashipacong shelter, so I stopped there. So it's another 2.4 miles to the Rutherford shelter, which is where I had originally intended to stay. That means I got to cover that 2.4 in addition to the rest of the mileage I'm going to do. So today, to get to Unionville, which is where I'm headed, that's my goal. It's 14.3. So it's a big day. It's, what time is it? It's just coming up on 8 o'clock. I got a little bit later start. I was hoping to get out by 7:30, but I had to respond to my wife about a few things. I had to check a couple things online. I had an incident with my stove yesterday. I'll have to explain that later in a different video. But right now, 14.3 to get to Unionville. Now I have 3 options for where to stay tonight. One option is the Sola Hostel, it's called, in Unionville. That one's a little tricky because you can't make reservations. It's first come, first served. There's only 4 beds. It's called a, quote, Christian retreat hostel. Not sure what that means, but I suppose anybody can stay there. But you're supposed to text them when you're close by Unionville, and then they'll give you instructions on how to get there. It's like a half mile, I guess, outside Unionville, so not far. It's donation based, first come, first served. You have to hike in. You can't get shuttled into Unionville. They want to make sure they're only catering to through hikers. So that's option number 1. Now today is supposed to get hot. It's supposed to be 90 today. Hard to believe right now. It's chilly, it's clammy. It's, low 50s right now. It's gonna go up, 35 to 40 degrees by this afternoon. So I will be losing this raincoat before long. Okay, I switched hands with the phone because my arm was getting tighter. I don't know if I pulled a muscle or what I did there. But, so yeah, it's going to be hot today. And don't know if the hostel will have air conditioning or whatnot. I guess they do laundry for you. And there's coffee in the morning, which I don't drink anyway. But you can see how foggy it is. I'm crossing a road right now. You can't even see cars coming. It's so foggy. I guess I just keep going across the street. Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, I have to get my bearings here. So the hostel's one option, you know. Clean, dry bed, laundry, whatnot. Okay, so that's option one. Option two is to stay in Unionville. You can get a permit to sleep in town, like in the town square or behind the village town office or something. I'm not really sure. You're sleeping outside, you're setting up your tent, you're getting a permit to do it. I'm assuming there's a porta potty there. It's gonna be a warm day, and it's gonna be a low of like 68 tonight. So, you know, when I go to bed, it'll probably be still upper 70s at least, I would think. Maybe 80, so might be a little toasty. Oh, a little register box. Oops. I'm not going to sign that. There's just a couple pieces of paper in there. So I could do that. The advantage to doing that is it's free as far as I know. Also, I'll be right across the street from Horler's General Store. I can check them out for a few resupply items. And it's around the corner from a place called Annabelle's Pizza, an Italian restaurant or something. It's supposed to be really good pizza there. I've had a hankering for pizza. I've literally had pizza twice in 2 months. And one of them was a frozen pizza. The other was a Domino's pizza. So I've got a hankering for real, you know, small town official Italian pizza. So I'd really like to try that for dinner tonight. So that's the advantage there. The third option is to stop a little bit short of Unionville, about mile and a half, mile 3/4, something like that. There's a shelter called the Secret Shelter. It's not in the AWOL guide. It is in Guthook. It's not considered an official shelter because it's a guy who's a former thru hiker. It's on his private property. He has a little cabin he built. I guess it can sleep, it says 4 to 6 hikers, so I'm not sure if that means some people sleep on the floor or what. Usually you have an exact count when there's bunk beds, right? But I guess there's a donkey there that's friendly, and you get to meet the donkey, pet the donkey, and the donkey wakes you up in the morning with his or whatever, you know, like a rooster in the morning. So that would be a unique experience. And I guess the guy who owns it, I think his name's Jim or Jake. He sometimes will greet you with a beer. And anyway, so that's an option. That is definitely not going to be air conditioned. So that's a concern there, the heat tonight, and also sleeping in a small little cabin with other people snoring and whatnot. But you'd be at least out of the elements, although it's not going to rain tonight. It's supposed to be clear day today, once this fog lifts. Okay, as you can see, I took off my rain jacket. Just getting too steamy in it. It's not that hot out yet, but it's just muggy. The air is so saturated after all the rain we had. That's my fear, is that when it warms up, it's just going to be a soupy mess. I'm going to be dripping with sweat by the time I get to Unionville. They're not going to want me anywhere near that town. I'm going to stink so bad. The other thing is, I'm worried about the bugs coming out. After that rain, everything's wet, and you know how it is with mosquitoes and bugs after a rain. There's a sign for the Rutherford shelter. So down that way, 0.4 miles. I am not going down 0.4 miles and then 0.4 miles back. That's an extra 0.8 of a mile. Okay, so once again, I've been dealing with this kind of stuff off and on for most of the morning, slowing me down. So I said it before and I'll say it again. New Jersey is not the end of the rocks. And don't fool yourself into thinking that it is. It is not. In fact, if I didn't know I was in New Jersey, I'd think I was still in Pennsylvania. There's just Still a lot of rocks. I do not know when or where the rocks will ease up, but it is not New Jersey, people. I am about close to halfway through New Jersey, or somewhere around in there, or at least I will be today. And I have yet to see any significant difference in the terrain between Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Look at that hill. Just rocks. This is, as you can see, this is just rocks. There's hardly any dirt or leaves. So, once again, I hate to belabor the point, but the rocks do not end at the Delaware River. Not even close. Oh, look at that little guy. Look at him. He's cute. Those guys are adorable. That's the other thing. I'm trying not to step on those guys. They're all over the place. And here's the other thing. It's not just me. The other hikers we're all talking about. We're all like, geez, when are these rocks let up? What the hell? We're, 30 miles into New Jersey. And it's still just as rocky as Pennsylvania. People keep telling us, oh, it gets better after this spot. It gets better after that spot. Horse hockey. It does not. So I stopped for a break, have a snack. It's about 10:30. Just checked my mileage, and I've gone 5.1 miles in about 2 3/4 hours. That's disappointing. That's less than 2 miles an hour average, but the rocks have been way more than I've expected for New Jersey. It finally flattened out a bit. I got some flat trail ahead of me, as you can see there. Right now I'm going to have a couple pieces of tortilla bread, whole grain with flax seeds, and a couple of these, once again, peanut butter packets that my wife kindly sent me in my resupply box that she won, or not won, it was in the swag bag for a race she did. She had to run a lot. She says, I busted my butt for that butt butter, she said. She calls it butt butter instead of nut butter. In any event, I'm going to have that. I'm going to hydrate a bit, and then hopefully this trail is going to stay flat for a while so I can pick up miles. Because if I'm doing less than 2 miles an hour, I'm not going to get to Unionville till close to 5 o'clock, and that means there's a good chance that there won't be any bunks at the hostel left, and I'll be camping outside, which isn't the worst thing, but still, I would like to get into town and relax and get some pizza and have something to drink and charge my phone and, check out the general store and so on. I don't want to come into town and then have to rush to set up my stuff and get ready for bed. It's a fancy little AT marker there. I am at, I forget what it's called. There's a visitor center right back there. I had just had my snack, literally not a half mile down the road. And I saw that and I asked the guy, do they have water in there? He said, I think so. So there's a water fountain. I gotta cross the road here. There's a water fountain. It's not working. So there's a sign that says, we will fill your water bottles inside. So I went inside and gave her one of my water bottles. There's another one of those fancy signs. And she filled it up, and while she was filling it up, I saw a little refrigerator. It had soda in it. It said soda's 50 cents plus tax. I was like, whoa, that's RC soda, but they had root beer. And I was like, oh, I'll have a root beer. So I'll have to get $1 out. So I started fishing in my pack for my money. And then I see they got a wall of candy and snacks and candy bars and crackers and stuff. It says 50% off everything. So I got, get this, I got a can of RC root beer. I got 2 of those Austin packets of the orange crackers with the peanut butter in the middle. 2 of those, each with 4 of the little sandwich crackers in it. There's another sign telling me exactly where to go. Right? So, also I got 2 packets of chocolate chip cookies. They had 2 chocolate chip cookies in each one about 2 inches in diameter. So 4 chocolate chip cookies, 8 of the crackers with peanut butter in the middle, the RC cola, and 2 squeezed packets of peanut butter. I got that all for $1.81. $1.81, and I let her keep the change. I'm like, I don't want to carry around 19 cents. You know, put that in your little change jar or whatever. And while I was in there, I met another hiker named Gumby. And she is going south. So I started asking her questions about the trail going north. And she said, in about another mile or two, she said the trail really starts smoothing out. And she said, it becomes really flat walking. She said, you get this one part, she goes, and it flattens out like nothing, like a boardwalk. She goes, you can really make some miles in. I was like, wow, awesome. So anyhow, I gave Gumby some reconnaissance on the water situation on the trail, as far as the Mashipacong shelter having bottled water inside the bear box. So she didn't know about that. So I gave her the inside scoop. Told her I was there last night by myself. And there was a 5-gallon jug in that bear box. Bottled water. No need to filter. Oh my God. This is like hiking in a steam bath. Oh God, I'm dripping with sweat. My clothes are soaked. I must stink to high heaven. Oh, sweat's just dripping down my face. Oh, this is brutal. I'm hoping this trail levels out. Like Gumby said. Oh, damn it. Whoa. Observation platform. So I'm taking a break at the High Point shelter. I realized I have 3 of these cheese sticks still in my bag. I was going to have one. I had one this morning for breakfast, or with breakfast. I was going to have the other one this afternoon. I was going to save the other 2 for tomorrow. It is so swelteringly hot. I don't think I want to eat cheese. It's been through this kind of heat for 24 hours or more. So I'm going to eat all 3 of the cheese sticks just to get rid of them, so that I don't suffer any kind of disease or infection. I'm wiping down the sweat. I just filtered a whole liter of nice cold creek water. I added some raspberry lemonade Propel to it. That tastes good. I'm going to drink that whole thing before I leave here. Here's the other problem. My hip belt keeps slipping. It started being a problem a few weeks ago. I would just notice during the day it would just kind of get looser and looser, and then I'd have to tighten it periodically. Now it's like I hike for a few minutes and it's like loosened, and my pack is sliding off my hips, and I'm carrying all the weight on my shoulders. So that's painful, and that's not good. I did order a new hip belt from Z-Packs, but Z-Packs, you got to do something about those straps. I would love it if the straps tightened and then you had that little latch that you click over on it that locks it in place, that it can't slip. That would be the best solution, in my opinion. I know it's a little more complicated, a little more expensive, a little more weight, but you know, you got to have a product that works. Okay, I'm leaving the High Point shelter, where I drank a liter of water with electrolytes, sat in the shade for a while, I ate the 3 cheese sticks, signed the register, filtered extra water, so I'm full up on water. I've got 3 liters of water. This is a good sign so far. Trail is fairly level. Still some rocks here and there, but nothing serious. If it stays like this, more or less, for the next 7 miles, then I can maintain easily, without exerting myself, 2.25 to 2.5 mile an hour pace. If I maintain a 2.4 mile an hour pace, I'll be to the road crossing into Unionville in exactly 3 hours. Okay, boy, carrying 3 liters of water when your hip belt's not working, that's an extra 6.5 pounds. And it's pushing down on my shoulders pretty bad. I'll normally only carry about 1 liter to 1.5 liters, unless I know it's going to be hot or there's going to be a big distance for the next water source. So I'm carrying an extra 3.5 pounds of water on my back right now. Whew, I can feel it. So that's going to encourage me to drink more so I can get this weight off my back. Oh, these road walks will be the death of me. Oh, my God. Just what you want on the hottest day of the year when there's a heat advisory out. There's a little road walking in the sun. About to cross another stone wall, dry stone wall. And it's really a nice one. Just remarkable. You know, the labor that went into this and the time. Someone had to pick up and select every one of these stones and then decide where to place them. I mean, it's really artwork. Yes, it's construction. It's building of a wall, but there's a lot of artistry involved too. A lot of creativity and decision making that goes into how to place those stones to keep that wall as sturdy as possible for as long as possible. And you can just look down that wall that way, and then you can look down the wall this way. That's really a nice job. I would love to see something like this when it was first built, what it looked like around here, if it was just open farmland, pasture land, or what it was. It's just amazing. That'll outlive pretty much all of us. So I texted the hostel and said, hey, you know, I'm looking for a place tonight. Do you have any beds available? And he said, great timing. I'm just getting set up for a neighborhood barbecue. Come eat. So I guess I'm going to a backyard barbecue. I asked if there were any vegetarian options. And he said, well, my wife made a salad. Not exactly what I was asking. Like veggie burgers for the grill? Hello? So I think I'll stop and I'll get a slice or two of pizza at Annabelle's, because I've been hankering for that anyway. Real New York pizza. Oh my gosh. And something cold to drink. And then I can go over to the barbecue and not feel bad if there's not a lot for me to eat and still socialize and whatnot. I'm hiking through the woods here. I looked over and I saw this long stone wall, dry stone wall. Really cool. Can't see some of it through the trees, but you can see parts of it there. And it keeps going, and it looks pretty nice. The thought occurred to me, wonder if slaves built that. I have no idea if slaves built dry stone walls. I don't know when these walls were built. They may have been built after slavery. But, I mean, if so, these were skilled craftsmen, really. And that was a lot of hard, back-breaking work collecting those stones. So whoever built it, it's impressive. Learning how to place those stones so that that wall could stand for, centuries. That wall was probably built before anyone watching this video was born. And I'll bet that wall will stand after every single person on Earth right now is long gone. So the entire population of the Earth will have changed over, and those walls will still just be standing there. So I am in Annabelle's Pizzeria in Unionville, New York, waiting for my pizza and garlic knots and enjoying a sweet tea. My skin feels like a crispy chicken that's been in the rotisserie oven 15 miles today in this oppressive heat and humidity. I think I drank about a gallon of water. I feel like I'm gonna melt.